Hi, and welcome to Module 3. If you remember when we talked about the organization of this course, we talked about that Module 3 would encompass 2 weeks, week 3, week 4. And the reason that we did that is because we really want to talk about in these 2 weeks, how do you support teachers in the implementation of a guaranteed and viable curriculum? And so in this module, for week 3, module 3, you're going to look at developing a professional learning opportunity for teachers and creating taking that presentation from last week and using it as well. So in module 1, we talked about curriculum management and instruction. We looked at those Texas curriculum management initiatives and we unpacked a standard so that you kind of understand what you're looking for when you go into a classroom. In module 2, the assignment, you really looked at your own curriculum in your school and provided evidence that it was a high quality and viable curriculum. And then you looked at and became experts in an intervention, a curriculum intervention or program. In Module 3, you're going to be looking at ways that you support teachers through professional learning opportunities. Remember, we talked that the only way that teachers can be effective is if there's professional learning opportunities. You cannot expect teachers just to know how to do something. And so how do you use PLCs? You can use data and protocols that will conduct walkthroughs or learning walks in week 4. So an effective principal establishes and monitors your commitment, the school's commitment to high standards and success for all students. There's a vision that has to be developed around standards and success for those students, and that's part and a very critical part of principal leadership. So you have to get everyone in your boat rowing in the same direction. If everyone is not on board, then you're going to be just rowing around in a circle outside. And so in order to do that, there has to be a way for principals to support their teachers. And teachers need to be a part of a community of professionals that are focused on good instruction. So in this module, you're going to take the implementation, the intervention that you did in Module 2, and now you're going to structure a one-day session of professional learning. How do you introduce this? How do you implement? And those kinds of things. So again, there's your 9 topics, and I added deep learning in the 6 C's for this in case you want to do professional learning on that. Let's take a look at the rubric. Basically, you're going to provide a detailed professional development session. You're going to address the questions that I'm giving you and provide any required artifacts such as handouts that you might give, sign-in sheets, and then you're going to reflect on why it's important for principals to know how to develop and present and evaluate professional learning opportunities for teachers. You need to be involved in that as much as the teachers are or your staff developers. So please make sure that you're addressing that. Again, your APA needs to be there, and watch your errors in grammar and spelling. All right. So your session should include some interactive learning opportunities for your participants to have discussion, conversation, and involvement. I don't want it to be where you're just standing up and delivering. You're going to use the guiding questions below to help you develop your professional learning session. And then you might take a look at your presentation from Module 2. It could be a starting place for you. Also take a look at what your peers are saying in the discussion board this week because you're uploading your presentation. Make sure that you have documentations, that you have handouts, that you may have to create some artificial data to demonstrate evidence. So we know that this may not all be exact data, but you may have to do that. Copy and paste your answers or your documents under each question. Or you can create a PowerPoint for each question and then just paste the slides there as well. All right, so number 1, create an agenda. And make sure that you include that agenda in the one. How are you going to introduce the session? Talk about introductions, warm-ups, those kinds of things. How did you determine to choose this topic? We need to know where's the evidence. You didn't just decide you're going to teach about differentiated instruction when for 4 years that's what your school district has been focused on. Again, this is where you may have to create some artificial data. Talk about the activities that you're going to use that include interaction, active learning. People are thinking about it, talking about it. And how are you going to give some hands-on so these teachers can have new practice? They don't want to just hear about it. They want to be able to do it as well. Job embedded professional learning is a research best practice. How are you going to support participants as they share their knowledge with their colleagues? How are you going to support them as they go back into the school classroom and implement this new learning that they have? You're going to develop an implementation and a sustainability model for this intervention. So what steps and processes will you use? And then how are they going to receive support to ensure fidelity? Will you use instructional coaches, lead teachers, those kinds of things? How are you going to evaluate your session? How do you know your session did what it was supposed to do? And then how will you use this experience of creating professional learning as a new school leader? So basically, Module 3, Week 3 is going to be just developing a professional learning opportunity about something that you did in Module 2. So have a great Week 3, and we look forward to seeing you at the web conference.